Good morning, we're here in Marbella, Spain, riding the 2018 Yamaha MT-07, previously known in the US as the FC-07. Yamaha has dropped the FZ title from the nomenclature and adopted the MT, Masters of Torque nameplate, which is what it's been using internationally all around the world for many years now. So, out with the FZ, in with the MT. And today we're riding it. You know, this bike originally came out, I believe, in 2014, and it was a smash home run hit for Yamaha. Yeah, they sold a lot of these motorcycles. The price was very, very lucrative. The performance was great too. I mean, this engine has tons of usable torque. It's playful, it's fun. The chassis was light, easy to ride, and the styling was cool. So it was pretty obvious Yamaha had a hit on their hands. I remember back when we did our Moto USA bull shootout, this bike actually won that. If you haven't checked out that story, make sure you give it a read. There's a lot of insightful information in there. Of course, Moto USA went out of business, and now we're doing things here on this channel, youtube.com/Adam Waheed. This is where all of my video content is going to go from here on out. It's all going to go here. Right now we're at the global press launch for this. We're in the US wave. As I talked about in the previous Michelin Road 5 review, these are lead follow rides, so I can't pass this guy. He's leading us during the course of the ride, so you know, we're not going to be going that fast. Hopefully we go at a pretty good clip, but generally the pace on these rides is it's conservative, not overly conservative, but we're not ripping. You know, if I was out on the weekend, you know, with my friends or by myself, we would be ripping. But it's okay, you still get enough to feel the bike and feel what everything's about. You guys might be wondering why I look back like that. It's force of habit. Whenever I have my GoPro on, I just always have to keep an eye on it. I don't want to lose it or have any problems. So for 2018 Yamaha MT-07, they did a number of changes to this bike. First off, the styling. The bodywork is all new. Styling's all new. It's got a new, more aggressive look to it. And you know, Yamaha in Japan, they have there's like a subculture in Japan that really likes these like dark, outwardly bikes that just look mean and sinister, and that's what Yamaha was going with the MT-07. They wanted a little bit more sinister and aggressive styling, and I think they've done that real well. Chassis also been updated. You know, the original, one of the few flaws we had with the original FC-07 was just the suspension and the front tire. I remember the suspension was, you know, on the more conservative end of the damping and spring rate spectrum. So Yamaha has actually beefed up the suspension. The spring rate is firmer up front. The rebound damping circuit's been updated and has a little bit more rebound return damping up front. And on the rear suspension, both the compression and rebound circuits have been increased. Basically, slow down that shock move, give it a little bit more compliance. And you know, some of you might be thinking, well, didn't they give up any of the ride quality, you know, for lighter people or for slow going on bumpy roads? And really, that just because you increase the compression and rebound damping circuits doesn't mean that it's going to have not as supple ride. Usually when they do that, all they're doing is they're trying to control suspension movement and slow down the action. And when you have slower action, you generally have just smoother ride. Oh, to a point. You know, if you go overboard with it, the suspension's not going to move, and then, you know, now you're in a new set of problems. But, you know, I've always been a big fan of suspension that moves real slow, has real soft movement and action, and that just gives me more control, and I really like that. And right away, I mean, it feels pretty good. We're going over these little bumps here, and you know, I like the suspension so far. Ergonomics have also been tweaked on this bike. You know, this still feels somewhat like a small motorcycle. doesn't feel big by any means. You know, I'm 6 foot tall and I'm a little bit cramped on this motorcycle. Not overly cramped, but it's a small bike. You guys who are a little bit bigger than me, you know, just keep that in mind. It's a full-size motorcycle, but it's not meant for big dudes. Yeah, you can ride it, yeah, you can be comfortable, but you know, if you're a bigger guy, you're probably going to want something that's got a little bit more meaty seating position. But you know, with a curb weight right around 406 pounds, this thing is really light. You know, it really changes directions well. And, I mean, I can't believe how just lithe the handling is. The thing just goes where you want. And it's got a lot of beans, you know. Look at that. Just pops up a wheelie just like that. Second gear, barely give it any gas, and front wheel's off the ground. Hey, what's up, Ebe? Oh, hey, man, I'm just talking to the fans right now. Oh, thank you. I know you guys can't hear it right now, but my buddy Ebe has chimed in here over the Senna 20S headset, and we're talking. He just scolded me for doing that little wheelie, and he wasn't recording. So, yeah, Ebe, well, can I call you back? I'm just talking to the fans right now. Okay, bye. So, here we are, back on our ride. I broke the lead follow right there. That guy's probably mad at me. Just joking. But if you were a person who wanted to you know, get into motorcycling and have, you know, a full-size bike that you know is real versatile, that you can, you know, have some fun on and really grow into, this MT-07 is going to be it. You know, of course it's got more engine capacity than you know, the smaller bikes, you know, the 300s, the 400s, the 500s, and just because it has the extra added engine capacity, I don't think I wouldn't classify this as a bike that's too aggressive for a new rider. You know, Yamaha has really honed this CP2 engine configuration, the 687cc parallel twin. They've really honed this engine, and it really gives the best of both worlds. It has real sedate, smooth power down low, but it's trackable. There's a lot of torque there. You know, you can just slam the throttle and the thing pulls ahead very nicely. It pulls ahead in a nice fashion that's not too punchy and not too sedate. That's why I like this bike. You could buy this bike and you could really grow into the power. It's something that you could be riding, you could start your career on and easily ride it for 1 to 2 years, 3 years even, and not get sick of it. It's a very versatile bike. Our dash display is set up in metric system right now, so we're going 120 kilometers per hour, which I think is around 60 miles per hour, I think. Kind of jet lag, so my mathematical skills are going to be a little off right now. But look at this dash, it's very nice, everything is there. We got our speed, we got our speed here, our fuel gauge, our tachometer, our trip meter, our clock, whether the engine's getting optimum fuel mileage or not via that eco button. That light illuminates whenever the motorcycle is getting optimum fuel mileage. So if we twist the throttle, it's going to go off, and if we're cruising and coasting RPM, it's going to go back on. You know, with these naked bikes, obviously they don't have a front fairing, so what that means is it's going to obviously put a lot of wind and expose you to the elements. And generally, I'm not a big fan of naked bikes for this reason. I like to have a full fairing. I like to have a front windscreen. And that's because when I'm riding, you know, I typically ride on the freeway a lot, and I'm going far distances. You know, I really use motorcycles, especially in Southern California, as transportation to get from point A to point B in the quickest and most efficient way possible. And I like having a front fairing because it takes some of that stuff off it takes the wind and the elements off my chest and upper body. It just delivers me to my destination more comfortably, and I like that. There's Mr. 650 Ebe right there. What's up, man? How you doing? What's that? Yep, what gear? Alright, second gear. How about third gear? All right, you call it. Oh, he's got me! He's got me! Yeah! We got him at the end. Nice job, man. Nice riding. Yeah, I can't wait for our, as Eve just mentioned right now over the Thunder Bluetooth headset, we're going to be doing a Yamaha YZF R6 and YZF R1 tutorial at Chuckwalla Valley Raceway in Southern California. And you know, the means of this tutorial videos is just to kind of help him get up to speed on some of the lexicon and some of the insights of track riding. You know, I'm no expert, I'm no pro racer, I'm no professional riding coach, but over the last, 12 years of doing this, I've developed, some skills that have really helped me stay safe on the track and on the street. I've had very, very low amount of crashes. I've tested just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bikes all over the world, and I barely ever crash. And part of that is just by employing, safe riding tactics. For sure I'm gonna push the limits, and I'm gonna do some crazy stuff every now and then, but I'm only gonna do it when I know it's gonna work in my favor. And if you do that too, you're gonna have more favorable results and keep your body healthy and safe. So that's it on the Yamaha MT-07. We're gonna check in back with you guys here in a little bit and talk more about the motorcycle as we get to some curvy roads and have a little bit more fun on it. But initial thoughts on this bike is it's a great little bike, smooth, easy to ride, comfortable, looks neat. For $7,600, geez, it's a pretty nice bike. I'll see you guys later.